this is what we're looking to do. And, they started their work of sort of building out, like a creative, some creative templates of, let's design your brand, your aesthetic. And that's just a lot of like back and forth, looking at a lot of different things, sending them a lot of different ideas, describing your product. Do you see it more female? Do you see it more male? All sorts of little things like that. So when we got to sort of like the look and feel that you see with the can and the packaging now, we had settled on that sort of initial template, and then started, making the minor adjustments to it, positioning, copy, exact final colors, all that fun stuff. We'd mailed them, a bunch of like samples so they could like, my idea was like, creative inspiration while you're at the office, drink some of these and design how they make you feel, whatever. Probably had no real benefit, but, they got some free drinks out of it. And then, we got to a point where we really liked what they were doing. We had all sorts of different names that we were working with. And then the Hugos name came about. So Christian, my business partner, he's from Ecuador. And, we have a really good, supportive Latino community. And, these drinks were made with a lot of fresh juice, and the word, for juice in Spanish is Hugo, with a J. So we decided on, Hugos. So, we kind of did, I wouldn't say test cases, but, we asked a lot of our Spanish speaking friends, like when they look at it and they go, oh, Hugos, and then we asked, non-Spanish speaking people, and they would go, oh, Hugos, who's Hugo? So, we liked it because it was engaging with, kind of multiple different types of people. I like it. I like the sound of it. It was the one I'd say that when we came up with it, it just kind of clicked. And then we also had these great guys that did our boxes for us. They're called Great Northern out of Wisconsin. We were toying with like a completely different product early on, and they designed like multiple boxes for us over like a year period and never asked for a penny, which was just astounding because we also probably couldn't have been able to pay them at the time if they had. But they were just so helpful, and like I could tell, my advice to anyone that is interested in this kind of thing. But in general, I think like in life, even where we've been able to get just at the very modest success we've had so far is finding great people to work with, and like they're like sort of Midwest sense of hospitality, just such a nice, kind, gracious people. Kept working with us even in moments when I was like, I don't even know where this is going. I don't even know if like we're gonna, use these people, whatnot. And when we came on the finished product, like they definitely, I think in my and Christian's like heart of hearts, like we're so fond of them that as long as we're in this business and need great packaging, like I couldn't imagine us, looking for anyone else because they just, have been so supportive this whole time. Which you definitely need. You definitely need if you're starting a small thing on your own. You need to find good people like them and, DRZ that did our design, because they took a risk on us as well. They do a lot of big projects in Europe, and I think we were easily the smallest project they've ever taken on. So yeah, many thanks to both of them, but in general, just like, finding people that will, take that risk with you, because it's definitely a risk. There's been multiple times where, trying to find like good people that can do great work and convincing them to work with you, it's been a challenge. So it's heartening to know that there's people out there that are willing to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old saying, it takes a village, and obviously y'all had the idea initially, and then you kind of knew that creativeness was your limitation when it comes to the packaging and everything like that. So you luckily, knew people that knew people, and you got it working out. And I think the packaging is absolutely beautiful. It's simple, and it puts forward the name of the cocktail you're drinking first, and then it just happens to say, Hugo or Hugo, depending on how you're reading it, at the very bottom there, where, you have a great little logo, and people will start realizing whenever they start seeing your cans, oh, that's them. I'm going to go try that, or I'm going to, tell other people to go buy it.
Yeah. I definitely think, you're dead right. Like it definitely takes a village, and, we've learned a lot in this, like how many people are just willing to help you in general, small, big, if you're willing to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, say, hey, I think definitely show them, more of a commitment to this isn't just like some harebrained idea you came up with when you were drunk. No intention of following through on it. But, if you ask people for help, like people really want to help. And that's strong and supportive. And when we have our packaging, like, that's kind of the hope we're going for or the idea we're going for is, we wanted to put the sort of the base and the flavors like front and center. So even if you're not like, you don't have to know really anything about classic cocktails. The idea and the hope behind this is like passion fruit habanero. Oh, that sounds delicious. Mm-hmm. And the components underneath it and what it takes to make that drink. I frankly, I look at it as a consumer, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, they don't, when most people go to a bar, I don't think they need to, for the most part, they don't care about all the little things that a bartender's putting into the drink or what it takes to make it. I think, they just, do I like this drink? And, over the years, like you could have a specific drink and like you have a returning customer and their recall is like, oh, that passion one. It's not, it's not so specific. So, whether it's being translated or not, I don't know, and who knows, but definitely the goal was to say, what is in this drink? Strawberry and basil, or, Fuji apple juice and ginger. Like, those are the predominant flavors you're going to get. Hopefully once you drink it and like it, and exactly as you're saying, and you start to associate it with the Hugos, then when we have other drinks, in the future you'll go, oh, I've had one of those before. I like it. I'm gonna give this one a try.
Very true. Now, throughout this entire process and this whole journey, what do you feel like you learned the most from?
What have I learned the most from?
Yeah.
I think, I learned a lot, from Christian, my business partner. I think, when you're kind of in bed with someone that the two of you and everything you do every day is so like linked, just by like being attentive and trying to be considerate of their needs and their strengths and their weaknesses. I definitely have learned, so much through him over the years, but then, just like the energy, the drive, the passion that he has, it's very inspiring. And I'd say, I've learned a lot of patience. There's going to be like small to medium to largish hurdles. And, the first solution to that hurdle is to be patient. Because we've been confronted with like a number of things that at first I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know how to solve this. Whether it's like a cash crunch, whether it's a logistical issue, just something that we haven't been presented with until that moment. But, a constant through that is if you're patient, you're gonna come to the solution, figure it out. So definitely to, not be rash, not like, let your excitement or your disappointment like get the better of you. To just try to be patient, stay present, move forward. Cause, I feel like I personally have learned quite a lot in the last 2 years. And at the same time, I'm not foolish enough to think I barely know anything. And, so, but again, like if I'm patient through whatever is coming down the road, like, and, with, the confidence that I have in my partner and myself, and, that hopefully as we grow, the people we're able to hire, like, I think you can always accomplish what you're trying to do, or in the worst case, like learn a good lesson from it if you're patient and you're willing to go through with it and not just, write something off as either a failure or, just get too disappointed. Like you can definitely, I've learned that if you focus on it, you can get very disappointed at like the result of something and really not grow from it or learn anything. So to kind of learn to, shrug them off and move on. But
that's awesome.
it takes time for sure.
Patience is definitely the key, not only to life, but to business as well.
Yeah. You have to be. You have to, as much as you'd want to, just change something right then and there. Like, it's just not practical, and it's not, certainly not like healthy for your own psyche, to like let it eat you up. So, we will always try to keep that in mind, I think.
That's good. Now, I have a segment on the show I call it the 5 count. It's just 5 random questions. Just answer as quick as possible.
Okay.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet. Sweet.
Right. If you were a pro wrestler or MMA fighter, what would your name be?
Oh man, the